Hey guys, it's Ed. The future is now, and the future is a $50 gift card to the subscriber with the closest prediction for 2021 or the end of 2020, today in 365 days from now, essentially, of what the stock price of Tesla will be. My prediction, 600. And I'm going to explain why. I changed my overall price target from 900 to 1200 by 2023. I'm going to explain that breakdown. So make sure you subscribe and leave in the comments or email teslastock2021@gmail.com. I'll put a link down there. If you want to leave your exact total of what you think that it's going to be. So it's going to be a free Visa gift card you can use anywhere, $50. I mean, we're going to try to do this every year for the next 10 years. If it takes off and people like it, you know, why not? It's fun. It's a game. We're all playing a game here. So anyway, let me get started on how I evaluate why there was changes. In yellow are the actual changes that I've had to make on it. But let's start with the first thing. These are the basic stock prices at around 400 right now. I think it's like 415 or something like that. And then my stock price by 2023 would be about 1200. By 2021, 600, and 2022, 750. These are predictions, and these are just general predictions of what I think based on major moving stuff. I'm not talking about every day it goes up and down $5, whatever. I'm balancing that out. These are main driving forces that push the stock up, you know, $50 to $100 levels pretty much. Anyway, starting with the Shanghai Model 3, they released 15 of them already in China, and they're starting in production in 2020. So obviously, the Shanghai factory is going to do the most to bump the stock up all year long. I put that at about a $100 move. And the second part would be the battery day. This is everything. This is what I'm waiting for because it kind of hinges, everything else kind of hinges on this. If they're not battery constrained and they can produce batteries for all these vehicles that they're going to produce, then that's going to make a big impact. So that's basically what I'm waiting for this year. That's going to probably be the most exciting thing this year is the battery day. To find out what they're doing with high bar, what they're going to do with Maxwell Technologies, if they've invented a better battery, more, higher density battery, a lightweight battery. Here's the thing, this Roadster, super small. I used to drive a Lotus, super small. I mean, the Roadster's only a little bit bigger. And then to fit a 600-mile battery somehow in the Roadster, not possible. So there has to be some technology behind this to make this possible. So I think we're going to see that, or see what's going on. Now, this could drive the stock down. If they haven't figured the battery situation out, this stock could get hit by this. If they come up and they're like, well, we don't quite have it all nailed down. I expect the market not to like that. But if they do come up with a plan and they have a better technology, this is going to be exciting. The stock could shoot up from there. So this is a big day in February. I'm not sure exact date. If you know the date, throw it down in the comment box. I don't know that offhand. Anyway, so that's another major factor. And then we got the Model Y. Obviously, they're talking about producing it earlier, releasing it earlier. I think, it's kind of going to be around April Fool's Day. Elon loves that. So anyway, it should probably be right around April when they start producing. I mean, I hope it's earlier, but I mean, either way, the Model Y is definitely going to have some impacts for production and for the stock price. So this is, the stock price is about 400, add another 200. By the end of the year, I see it being around 600 because of that. Okay, so anyway, that's how I see 2020. I mean, there's going to be maybe a couple other things that could come into play, and we'll get to them in a little bit for 2020. But this is what we know. This is what we've been told. We know this stuff is going to kind of happen. The Gigafactory 4 in Berlin, this is also, he said, oh yeah, we're going to have it done by the end of 2022. I think that was very conservative, and Elon has learned his lesson by promising too much, over-promising and underperforming. You're way better off just giving yourself a little bit of leeway, and he can bust the chops of everybody at Tesla inside of the company and push them. He doesn't need to force the situation. So I think he's learned his lesson there, that the people are dedicated to doing these things quickly. So Gigafactory 4 Berlin is obviously going to have an effect in 2020, 2021, most likely. I think they'll probably complete it early, maybe February to June or July next year, where they can be the following year, sorry, 2021, where they can start producing cars out of there and delivering them straight to all the countries in Europe. So then you'll have all the countries in Asia, Japan and Korea and China, of course, and then you've got all the countries here. So it lowers that cost, makes them more profitable by not having the tariffs and not having the delivery charges. Delivery is huge, tariffs are huge, get rid of all that, and that makes the company more and more profitable. Okay, and now we've got the semi-truck. Okay, the semi-truck is complicated. There's 3 tailwinds to that, but mainly you've got to figure if they're producing the semi-truck and they're using it and they're delivering their cars. Right now, I'm assuming, and I think I'm right here, that they're paying subcontracting other companies to truck all their cars around. Well, if they do it themselves, they're saving money. If they do it themselves with electric, they're saving even more. It's massive. So this is a big thing, and they need to get this out, but I think they're pretty battery constrained in general. Otherwise, I think they would have already been having these trucks out there. So they're going to need these trucks all over the world, shipping out all their cars to save a ton of money. So that's the biggest thing there. Obviously, they're going to sell some to other companies, and they're going to have other companies that want these, and it's going to be popular there. But I'm pretty sure that most of this stuff is going to be for Tesla use for a long time, because that just makes the company more profitable versus selling the truck as much. I mean, I think it's going to save them more money if they're just using these trucks. Plus, they get to test them in the autopilot and FSD, and they get to test these out. So they would rather test them out than having random truckers test this out and random companies test it out. So it makes the most sense for that to happen. Okay, now Gigafactory 5, I constantly I'm like going back and forth on this. Okay, at first I was saying India and Australia. Second, then I went back to Mid-America. Now I'm almost definitely going to Australia. Okay, and there's a few reasons. I've done a little bit of research on it, and I think this is, you've got to look at how they're running the company. Okay, they can't just hide the Gigafactory concept. They have to build all of the network of the chargers first. So if they're building the network of the chargers, let's look at Australia. They have 25 million people, and in India, they're not currently doing anything with that. Okay, no superchargers in India, so we've got issues there. But you can look at the map here. You can see all the superchargers, all the destination chargers here in dark gray. So they're already building the infrastructure. So to me, this is where it's going to be. And right where I'm pointing, right in New South Wales, in between Melbourne and Sydney. Okay, these are the biggest 2 cities in Australia as far as I know. And put the factory right here. That's like instant advertising. They can do batteries, so they need solar. This continent needs solar. This country needs solar, so that's huge. And then you've got Melbourne and Sydney, huge cities. I just think that this is a no-brainer. This is where it has to go. They may announce this by the end of this year, but it may come in announcement potentially, and I would think no matter what, they would be announcing it in 2021. This is my impression. If you guys have an idea, throw it in the comments if you think I'm right, that it's Australia's Gigafactory 5. I mean, I'm almost positive in this now, because it's just, I don't think they're going to put another one in the US before they do Australia. I mean, they may need to, and it depends on how many cars they're selling. But the main thing is the battery constraint. I put it under Cybertruck because the Cybertruck's coming out 2022. They switched the tri-motor and the dual motor to make sure that both of those are coming out first instead of the single motor. So they upped that because 80% of all those pre-orders are for the tri-motor and the dual motor. So they changed that for profitability. That's smart. It's a company that makes sense. I mean, it's kind of annoying for me because we ordered one, but I think we can switch in line and do something there if we needed to. So I'm not too worried about that scenario. But anyway, so the battery constrained issue is this. I think, and this is why I only have it down for about 25% increase. People are like, wow, why would you say they're only going to go from 600 to 750? They're going to have all this stuff. This is where they're going to run into battery constrained issues. So they could get hit on the stock heavy in this year. Think about what they have to do. Model S, Model X, Model 3, Model Y, Roadster, semi-truck, and Cybertruck, they're going to be massively battery constrained. If they haven't figured out how to produce batteries at a ridiculous rate, they're going to be battery constrained. So that will slow them down here. Now we have my favorite, of course, if you guys know my stuff. Check out my Robotaxi Network video if you want to see how it personally affects you or how you can make money. But anyway, the Robotaxi Network. Basically, also put this down in the comments. Do you think that it's coming out 2022, if it's coming out earlier than that, or if it's never coming out and there will never be self-driving cars? There's a lot of people that say that. I think they're not understanding the technology that they're working on. Elon and Tesla are putting what he said is 100% of all their R&D, 100% of their money is going into building this network because it's going to generate ridiculous money. So I changed the Cybertruck to about 100. They have 250,000, probably 300,000 pre-orders. I expect them to announce that maybe at Battery Day, like how many pre-orders they're up to. Maybe it's 325, 350, who knows. So I expect them to potentially release that data there. I mean, right now, so far, we know it's about 250. So, but I think that's going to move up the stock about 100 instead of 50. That's going to be pretty big when that's being produced. And then the Robotaxi, I am being super, super cautious. I'm going to do a breakdown just on the Robotaxi network and how much the company is going to make off that, because I don't think people realize what's happening. And this is where ARK Investing is predicting. They're predicting 6,000 based on the Robotaxi network, 700 per share based on no Robotaxi network at all. So anyway, but they're not thinking that. They're pretty much sure that they're going to, like I am, that this Robotaxi network is going to happen. It's just a matter of time. I think it's going to be slower than Elon thinks. You know, the full FSD is released now, but within a year, it's going to take a long time to test all that out. It's a lot more complicated on the city streets, traffic signs and all that. I mean, on the highway, it's a lot more basic. You don't have all of the pedestrians, and you don't have the stoplights and traffic lights and all the problems that you do on regular streets. So I think that's going to take a couple years to develop that, to make it safe. And then you have the regulators dragging their feet on whether in different areas they want to allow it. So it's definitely not going to be allowed in all areas. But anyway, that's going to have a massive impact. I just put 200. I'm being very conservative on that one. And the last two things is the Tesla insurance and solar. Okay. Now, Elon said that solar is going to be bigger potentially than the whole car industry, car business for them. So he's probably right, but I have no way to data that right now to really see what's going on. I mean, they are doing some solar roofs and whatnot, and in also the battery storage and all that, but there's no way for me to really get a solid estimate on that. So this may, if I make any changes, it'll be because of solar insurance get pumped up somewhere in here. Now, Tesla insurance has just been offered in California. So anyway, let me break this down in a more developmental fashion. Okay, there's 5 companies that are inside of this one company called Tesla. Okay, that I see. Okay, the main one obviously is their car company. Their car company is not running. Okay, it's been born, it's crawling, it's walking, but it's not running yet. It's not, you might be jogging a little bit, but it's not running. Okay, when all this stuff comes out, it will be running. Once that Cybertruck out, that part of the business will be running. The Robotaxi network the battery also is kind of crawling. They still quite maybe haven't figured it out, and they're battery constrained. So this part of the company is definitely crawling. Okay, the battery issue is crawling. Robotaxi network, that's in utero. Okay, that's a fetus right now. It's not been born. When he flips the switch on it and that goes live, then it's born. Then we'll see how it does. And that basically goes from born to a marathon sprinter. And that's what people aren't getting there. Financially, that goes from nothing to everything instantly. So if it happens. So, and now you have Tesla insurance and solar. Tesla insurance just got born in California, and it's not even crawled out of the state yet. So that's still an infant. Solar also, still an infant, crawling around. They already had to cannibalize it for the Model 3 ramp. The baby ran into the wall, fell down, And, you know, Elon was like, yeah, I'll get back to you. And he basically came back to the baby and helped him up. And now the baby's crawling again. That's solar. So you've got the battery. I'm sorry, you got the car company, the battery company, you got the Robo taxi network, you got the insurance, and you got solar. Now, if there's any company that and don't say the boring company that's not owned by Tesla or SpaceX or anything related. I mean, these, you know, it has to be owned by Tesla. So these are the 5 companies that are owned by Tesla. This is what drives these stocks, and this is why I give it these values. I'm just estimating. Once again, these are estimates. These are forecasts. They don't have to be perfect. They have to be some sort of forecast. And these, if you guys see anything I'm missing that will really add $50 to $100, or anything that is way off in this, like, oh, well, this isn't going to make any money, let me know. Put it in the comments. And also, like I said, don't forget, try to win your $50 Visa card. You know, I want to see all the subscribers, and don't forget to hit the bell notification so you can get updates on things. And in 2021, I want to see who's right. I want to see who's closest. I think if I'm wrong, I'm going to be wrong potentially on the conservative side, maybe 650, 700 stock price. But I'm trying to be a little conservative because I think they may have some issues this year and be battery constrained. So anyway, that's kind of what I see for that. And it shows like kind of percentage per year to year that it would go up. So maybe a couple 100% within 3 years. You know, that's pretty big if it can go up about 60% or so a year potentially. So anyway, and we're currently in with about 111 shares. But let me get to the stock price, because I know everybody wants a stock update. Everybody's freaking out. Oh my gosh, it went down $16 a share yesterday. No big deal. Okay, there's a couple reasons that does happen there. The day or a couple days before, the investors, the institutional investment firms, they have to clear their books one way or the other. Sometimes they have to buy and sell based on what they're trying to do for tax purposes and whatnot. So it was a massive sell-off on the entire market yesterday. Every stock that I had went down yesterday that we were tracking. So it wasn't like, oh my God, Tesla went. Everything went down. Everything got sold off yesterday. Probably because they didn't want to wait till New Year's Eve today to start, you know, dumping their shares. So you see a little bit of buy-in today. It's up about 1%, about $4. At least the last time I checked, that was $10.47. So anyway, it's at $418 per share. So no reason to panic. Let me expand it out. You can see where it's going up. Here's a bump right here, and it's not even back up to its normal slope. Okay, your normal 1-to-1 slope is coming here. Anything more than that is just exponential. It has to come back to a normal slope of a trend. You know, going up 2, going sideways 1, that's a little heavy on the slope. So anyway, so it's shooting over here, and we'll keep an eye on it. It's still way above the moving average. You can see the moving average down at like 380. So, I mean, like I said, this would be a long time. I mean, if it crosses somehow at 400, I mean, if it came down, I don't see it doing that. But, I mean, it's possible that, you know, it could bounce around that moving average. But anyway, that's how I see the stock. Basic update. And let's see, their fourth quarter. I don't really talk about the estimates, but you should always, you know, see what's going on with their earnings announcement estimates. Okay, so 129.20 tentatively that they will announce their earnings. Okay, with 20 analysts covering Tesla, the consensus EPS estimate is 1.44. That's like the average, and the high and the low estimates are 219 and 0.75. So anyway, that's what Wall Street's estimating. So they're saying that this company is going to be profitable. That would be huge. I mean, if they're even near profitable, if they're even near the estimate, if they beat the estimate, that's going to be huge for them. You know, I think the profitability is more important than how many cars they sell. It's just more important if they make more profit. If they sell less cars, that's fine, but they have to make more profit. And I think they're going to be more profitable potentially. So, and obviously the analysts think it's going to be more profitable as well. So, so that's a good thing there. So anyway, it's still valued as an F rating for Schwab. Schwab is very conservative. So anyway, so this is Tesla. This is the update. So I think we're pretty much wrapped up. So do me a favor, make sure, subscribe, put down your price target for the end of 2020 and for Tesla stock. And I'd like to play this game. I might do this on some other stocks if you guys like this. So anyway, let's do it on this one, and we will update you pretty soon on anything that comes up. I'm looking forward to the battery day, and comment anything you want in the notes, and be sure to subscribe and like and share. You know, share it with your friends. Let's not game it. You can't change your comments on there, so don't try to game it. But if you have some friends that, you know, point them to the video and tell them to post what they think the Tesla stock is. You know, make sure they're Tesla fans, of course. Anyway, we'll talk to you guys later.